Hello, this is a tutorial on how to install my Watergun particle effect onto your avatar. First of all, I need to find the folder that it's saved in. It's effects by Twami, Watergun, and I'm going to drag this plane on here. We're going to need it, that way the particles have something to collide onto. Okay, from here, I'm going to drag the high pressure prefab into the scene. I already have my gun set up where I want it to be, so now I'm just going to line up my particle effect to be pretty close to the tip of the gun. I'm going to press F right here to zoom in. I may need to zoom out just a little bit. And I am going to line this up as best as I can to the tip of the gun. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. I can bring it a little bit closer. Oh, that's not square. I'm going to hit F to get even closer. And bam, that looks good. Right here. I'm going to unpack this prefab right here in the hierarchy. So right click, unpack prefab. And you may have to do this for your gun as well. So now that I get everything where I want it to be, I'm going to drag it into my avatar. So what I'm going to do is open up the armature, open the hips, spine, right shoulder, right arm, right elbow, and right wrist. I'm going to click and drag my gun into the wrist, and it should bring it down to the bottom. I am then going to click and drag my prefab, my particle system prefab, into my avatar. It should bring it down here at the bottom. I'm now going to click my right wrist, because that's where the gun is located. I'm going to create a rigid body. I'll delete this rigid body so that way we can go through the same steps. So right wrist is selected, add component, up here type in rigid body, RIGI, and bam, click the second one, and it should bring this up. The settings you want are mass is at 0, drag is at 0, angular drag, I mean. Gravity is turned off, then unchecked, none, and discrete. Under constraints right here, you want to have these turned off. I'm going to turn on. You want them to be checked. Cool. So now we're going to click back onto our prefab and click and drag our right wrist into this parent constraint slot right here. Boom. And that connects the particle system to our wrist. This next part is very important, so make sure to follow it in this order. We're going to click is active first. We're going to open up the constraint settings and then click lock. What this will do is whenever we enter play mode, the particle system is now locked to whichever direction the wrist is facing. So I can click the wrist right here. I'm going to press E. I'm going to rotate the wrist up. The particles now then go up. Sorry, I just sent this out to oblivion. Okay. So, okay. I'm just going to turn this back on and off so I can have my particles back. Okay. So yeah, you can test to see if it's working by rotating the wrist around. I'm going to press W, and I'm going to play with it as well. Make sure it's connected. And yeah, it's connected. So I'm going to get out of play mode. Now what we need to do is create a toggle for to turn the Watergun on and then to turn on the safety, which is the toggle option. So I'm going to close this up. And I'm going to duplicate my avatar. I'm actually going to drag this out to the side a little bit. I'm going to create an animation. If you don't have an animation window, the way you would open it is click on window, hover over animation, and then click animation. It's going to bring this up. I like to bring it down here. So I'm now going to click on my duplicated avatar. I'm just going to rename it animations. Okay. I'm going to open up the animation window, hit create. I'm going to call this Watergun on. Cool. I'm going to open up my duplicated avatar. I'm going to find where I put the gun, spine, chest, right shoulder, right arm, right elbow, right wrist. Boom, found the gun. If you notice, if you click at the gun, it takes us out of the animation clip that we just made. So the way that you would click on it is by holding control and click, left click. So I'm gonna hit record. I'm gonna double click this check button on, and it should make the first keyframe right here. I'm also gonna open up the my prefab. I'm gonna click on toggle, and I'm gonna double click this check button at the very top right. So off, on, and bam. So we got our first keyframe. Make sure this white line is hovering over the first row of diamonds. We want to select these diamonds by left clicking it, hit Control C, click up here in the timeline and drag over one frame, and we're going to press Control V. And so now if I click and drag, I can see that these are both turned on. I'm going to do the same thing to but with the water gun off, with the gun off and the safety off. Okay, so I now have my new animation clip. I'm gonna hit record. I'm gonna turn this off right here, the toggle. I'm gonna control click the pew, and I'm just gonna click it one time. I'll turn it on, and I click it one more time, and now they're both turned off. I'm gonna copy paste this over to the next keyframe, just like I did before. I'm gonna double check to make sure these are both off by clicking and dragging in the timeline, and looks like they're both off. So our toggle's set, ready to go. We just got to make one more animation, and that's to turn on the emission effect. So I'm gonna go into the animation window, click up here, create new clip, and we're gonna actually no. What we need to do is click on, it doesn't matter duplicated or the original. We need to go to the FX layer. I'm going to click on project over here. So I'm going to click on FX, my FX layer. If I double click it, it brings it straight up. I'm going to, since the gun is on my right hand, I'm going to open up my right hand gestures effects, and I'm going to find fists, because for me, I want it to be, if I want the gun to shoot, I want to be holding a fist. Okay, so I have fist selected, and inside the inspector tab, if I click on the animation fist, it's going to take me straight to where the animation is in my project. I'm going to drag this fist into my animation's avatar. Okay, so now I can click on my animation's avatar, click on animation, and select the water gun on in this case, and I'm going to select fist. From here, I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to click on the toggle in my prefab, open up the emissions tab. What I'm going to do is type in 725, come down here to rate over distance, type in 100, and then I'm going to open up the muzzle flash and type in 10. Cool. Here, I had already done this in another tutorial, and I've found out 10 minutes in that I wasn't recording my voice, so that's why it was already there. But that's why these were already here. But what I'm going to do to bring this over to the next keyframe is I'm going to select one diamond, or I can just, I'm just going to select this diamond down here, control click the second diamond and the third diamond. It should be these three, the toggle water gun sprays. I'm going to have this this little marker hovering over the first frame, Control C, bring it over to the next one, Control V, bam, it's there. So now our animations are made. All we have to do now is bring the toggle into our parameters, and that's it. Oh, no. I'm actually skipping a step. Okay, so I'm going to open up our original avatar. I'm going to go to click on the toggles, water gun spray, inside my prefab, open up emissions. I'm going to set these to 0. The rate over time and distance over time, I'm going to set that to 0. Scroll down to muzzle flash, open the emissions tab. I'm going to set this to 0. We do this because once we turn on once we toggle on the Watergun in game, it's not just going to immediately start shooting our particles. Okay, I'm going to click over here on scene. So now we need to create our parameters. I'm going to click on the avatar, scroll down to expressions, click on parameters. I can double click it and it's going to take me straight right here. I'm going to click on add, and we're going to add our Watergun right here. Make sure to have bool selected, and this is unchecked, and the box to the right is checked. Cool. Now we need to go into our FX layer. I'm going to double click this. I'm going to click on parameters first. Click this plus sign, bool, and I'm going to type in Watergun. It's important that it's spelled the exact same way. I'm just going to double check it real fast. Double click. See, yeah, I would have messed up. So I'm going to take Watergun. I'm going to actually copy paste it. Come back over to our parameters and paste it over here. I'm going to click on layers. Hit the plus sign. I'm going to rename this by clicking on it one time. Control V. Click the cogwheel down here and set it to 1. Now I'm going to search for the animations that we just made. So Watergun on, right? That's what we called it. Watergun. There it is right there. So I'm going to click on it. On Watergun on, I'm going to hit the X, and it's going to take us straight to where we save the our animations. I'm first going to drag in off in here first, and just going to rearrange this just a little bit. I'm going to drag in on into here. I'm going to right click on any state and make a transition. I'm going to connect it to waterfall off, and I'm going to do the same for Watergun on. I just noticed I called this water fun. Anyway, okay. Click on the transition on the white arrow. Open up these settings. I'm going to turn off fixed duration. I don't really know if this really matters too much, but I'm just going to do it anyway because it's what I'm used to doing. Under conditions, I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to click it where it says gesture left. Scroll down to my Watergun and change this true to false. I'm going to click on the transition from any state to Watergun on. I'm going to do the same as before. And under conditions, gesture left, Watergun, and I'm going to leave this as true. So now our toggle is working, and since we did the animation change up here in fist, once we make a fist with the Watergun in our hand, like toggled in the game, it should shoot out the particles. The way that you can test this out, actually, before I do that, I need to put this into my menu. So I'm going to click my avatar, double click the menu, go into my toggles. In this case, I have a sub menu, which I'm going to open up. I'm going to add a new control. Open it. I'm going to rename it Watergun. Okay, I'm going to change this to a toggle. The parameter, I'm going to select Watergun bool. And we should be set up and ready to go. You can test this out by downloading VR Labs, their emulator. I'll provide a link inside of the description on how to get that. So to open it, I'm going to enable Avatar Emulator Tools. Go into play mode. Alright, I'm in play mode. I'm going to click on my avatar. And with this emulator, we can test out our toggles. I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off. Alright, so I'm going to click toggles. I'm going to turn our Watergun on. Sweet. Our Watergun's working in hand, and it's not shooting, which is good. I'm going to scroll down to where it says gesture right index, and I'm going to bring this over to fist. And bam. It's shooting. And now you're ready to upload your avatar into VR chat.